Hello, boys and girls. I hope that you have your small reading book opened up to page 74. This unit today, we would be talking in class about life at home, what it looks like for us now, and what it looks like long ago. So if you don't have your book, pause this and go get your book. Now then, we are going to look at life long ago and how that it is different from today. And we can even tell in the picture that this house looks different from our house today. Now, we have talked a little bit about this before in some of our other lessons. So let's track with our finger and let's read our title of our story, Life at Home. Okay. Now let's turn to our next page. All right, put your fingers. There will be the story text, and we will have captions down here. So we will begin with the story text, and put your fingers under the words and read those with me. Has home life changed a lot since long ago? Yes, it has. Now we move down to the caption. Long ago, many families cooked, worked, and slept in one room. We've talked about this before and how that everything was in one room. They slept, they played, they ate. And also, one of our sight words is on this page, and it is the word ago. Can you point to that word and let's spell it? AGO. Now let's move to our next page, and we see how that this page shows life now. Put your fingers under the words and read with me. A long time ago, homes had just one room. People ate and slept in that same room. Today, homes can have many rooms. Find the yellow caption on the picture. Today, families can live in a large homes that have lots of space. So if we would look at our page, we would see we have a yellow word, which is our sight word, and it is the word people. This is a word that we use in our writing a lot. So let's spell this word. P-E-O-P-L-E. Very good. Now, this week we are working and will work on long O, long U, and long E words. So see if you can find a long O word on one of these pages and just say it to the computer. Okay, one of the words that I see that is a long O word is the word homes. It has an O blank E. Remember our magic E that tells the O to say its name? And remember our star that makes that sound? I hope that you realize that even though the word room has an O, it is not a long O. And I always like to point that out so we don't make a mistake on that. Okay, so now this shows how homes looked long ago and how they look today. Now let's move forward and see something else and how things have changed. All right, put your fingers under the words and let's read together. How did people cook and bake long ago? A home had a brick fireplace with a pole. A huge pot hung on this pole. People cooked in this big pot. At the bottom, we have the caption. Long ago, there was an oven at the side of the fireplace. Bread was baked there. So we see that this is much different from the way that you see your family's cooking. They are cooking over a pot, and in that pot, they had to cook what they were going to eat. So usually it was just one thing they had to eat. Unlike we get chicken fingers and rolls and fries, they would have one thing, and they would have to cook those things, and maybe they would have some bread, but not every day of the week. Look at your highlighted word that is how, and spell that word How. That word is how. Now let's go to the next page where we see a family that looks like us cooking. Put your fingers under the words. Now we use a stove to cook and bake things. We still use pots, but these pots are not as big as that old pot. And now we see a yellow caption. Today, stoves can use gas or electricity. So whereas the lady in the first picture had to use the fire, we have a gas stove or an electric stove, and we can cook more than one pot. We can have things inside the stove, so we can cook a lot more and a lot of different varieties than they could back then. The word old is one of our sight words, and it is the yellow word. So put your finger on that and spell that word. OLD. Very good. Now, see if you can find a long U word. I see several on both pages. Put your finger on one and tell me what that word is. Okay, I'm going to pick the word huge. We had the soft G sound last week, and now we've added it with the long U. Huge, a huge pot. Also on this page, I see a word that we've already read this year, use, and it has a long U also. Okay, now let's move and see what else we can find. All right, fingers on your words so you can read with me. Back then, kids helped out a lot. A boy helped his dad plant crops. A girl helped her mom inside the home. She made socks and caps. It takes a long time to make these things. And the caption reads, a spinning wheel was used to spin wool into yarn. Not many of us probably have things made out of wool. Wool is very, very thick, and sometimes it's a little itchy. And but if you are somewhere where it's very, very cold, it's very useful to have a wool scarf or a wool sweater or even wool socks. But we don't have to wear those as often around where we live. But again, the family had to make the clothes, and they had to make everything that they wore. They didn't have Walmart. They didn't have Belks and TJ Maxx to go get new socks and new shirts. They had to make it themselves. Let's find our first yellow word, which is boy. Read that, spell that with me. BOY. And the next one is girl. Spell that. GIRL. So now we have those two words added. Now let's look and see our next page, because we see this family looks like us, what they're doing. Now we shop for things such as socks and caps. We shop for things to eat as well, but kids still help out at home. Children do not help out at home as often, as much as the children in the older days. A lot of times those children in the long ago time would not even get to go to school every day like we do, because they would have to stay home and help with the farm and help with the getting the crops out of the garden and planting the garden and hoeing the garden. And today you are able to come to school, and you do not have to work on the farm to make sure that you can have dinner. The yellow caption on this page says, today people buy most of the things they need and want, and we can go to Walmart or to a grocery store. And even since reading this story with my children last year, a new way for us to shop for groceries is online. And we can actually go and someone shops for us at the store, and we open our trunk and they put our groceries in the trunk. And that is even an even newer way than we were able to talk about last year as we read this story together. So things have even changed a lot for all of us in the year 2020. Now, let's see if you can find let's look for a long I word. I see a long I word on this page. Let's see if you do. Okay, I hope you said the word time. Time is an I blank E, and the E makes the I say its name. Time is an I long I word. All right, let's move on to our next page. Okay. All right, now then, on our next page, we have put your fingers under the words, and we're going to see how these friends wash. Back then, people got water from a well, and then they filled up a big tub and washed things. Now let's look at the caption, blue caption. In the past, people washed dishes in a tub made of wood. So washing was very hard, and oftentimes people would wear their clothes for several days before they would wash them. First of all, they didn't have a lot of clothes to change into, and then it took all day to wash these and get them dry because they had to dry them outside and let them hang on a line. And so washing was very, very difficult. Now let's look at how that today we wash things. Now people can wash things in a sink. We can wash dishes in a dishwasher too. Life is not as hard today as it was long ago. And if you look at the yellow caption, today it's easy to wash dishes in a sink or a dishwasher. And I laugh every day and tell my family I am very thankful for my dishwasher and my washing machine because they are my best friends at my house. And so now we have those things to help us wash our dishes and to help us wash our clothes. So it's not as hard. Now, if you will look on this page, I would love if you would find, I would like for this time for you to find a word that has an SH sound, the be quiet sound of shh. Can you find that word? Oh, I hope you found the word dishes, or you found the word dishwasher. Very good, because that has the SH sound. Okay, let's move on to our next page. Now, we have come to the end of our page, but I do want to point out that if we were at school, we would be talking about this graphic organizer and how that this graphic organizer shows us. This side shows that homes long ago had one room. When we talk about Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, I will show you their homes, and I will show you how the Abraham Lincoln's home looked almost just like this. And I have visited his home. And then homes today look more like this and have many rooms. But the thing that both long ago and now have in common, and that's why we put it where we join the circles together, is people still live in homes like they did long ago and like they do now. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this, and maybe you can take time to reread this story. I also am sending the activity that is attached to this story it would be actually the words that we would normally read together in class before the story. And so I want you to read those and record yourself reading those, and I will listen to you. Thank you for working so hard, and I will see you soon.